Since moving to this peaceful neighborhood, I never imagined how intertwined our lives would become with those of our neighbors. Across the street lived a single mother, Samantha, with her 6-year-old son, Jack. Often wrapped up in her own issues, Samantha seemed distant and reserved. Jack was a sweet and very calm boy, always ready to greet with a shy smile. Despite his young age, there was a weight in his expression that no child should bear. Our connection started innocuously. He would come over to play with our dogs or feed the birds in our garden. One afternoon, as I returned from a walk, I noticed something unusual at Samantha's house. The back door, usually kept closed, was carelessly open. Driven by impulse, I decided to make sure everything was all right. Entering, I was greeted by a heavy silence. I followed my instinct to Jack's room and my heart sank at the scene. Jack was tied to the bed with ropes that left marks on his arms and legs. I rushed to him, untying him while calling the police on my cell phone. Jack, through his sobs, told me his mother often tied him up at night to go out. The police and Child Protective Services acted swiftly, and while Samantha was detained, Jack was taken to the hospital to ensure he was physically okay. In the following days, my husband and I, deeply immersed in moral and emotional deliberation, considered the possibility of adopting Jack. Although we were not young, the idea of providing Jack with a stable and loving home filled us with hope as well as doubts. Child Protective Services began their evaluation, and we found ourselves attending meetings, filling out forms, and above all, pondering how our lives would change with a child in the house again. Samantha was found guilty of neglect and abuse, losing custody of Jack. Today, our home has transformed into a place of laughter and play. Jack, now free from the physical and emotional constraints of his previous life, runs happily in the garden, plays with the dogs, and helps us with small chores, showing his gratitude and affection in the sweetest ways. His presence has brought new light into our lives, reminding us that sometimes, love arrives in unexpected ways and calls us to act for those who need it most. This experience has taught us about resilience, forgiveness, and the capacity to love without limits. Although the future is still full of uncertainties, each day with Jack reaffirms our decision to fight for his well-being and happiness.